to be in that old trophy case. Number 4 we're still waiting for, well, bring on the chase. Out on the field at Mile High, Broncos win is our desire. Coupled with a break, brew and a friend, bleed orange and blue to the bitter end. Come and join us, DNVR. We are DNVR.
We are DNVR, and we are live from the DNVR Bar here in Studio A. And today, the A stands for
Alpha.
No, I was gonna say about right.
Okay.
Okay. What were you thinking? Alpha? Who's the alpha?
Tom Brady.
Oh.
We were just talking about the crazy news last night.
Oh, I didn't realize we were talking about clowns today.
Oh, okay. An alpha clown?
Alpha clown.
Yeah, there we go.
That's a good one. I was saying about right as in Russell Wilson's MVP odds feel about right. And we're gonna talk about that here in a second. Day 4, yoke week.
Love it.
Got 4 straight yoke shirts this week. I think I have a 5th that's clean, but I can't be sure.
So we getting a dirty one tomorrow?
You might just have to go repeat.
Boy, good thing I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Won't be able to smell that.
You know, that's a misnomer.
That you smell?
That just like I think I can get 2 uses out of a shirt without anyone noticing.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're probably right. Yep.
Or maybe I just have to go buy a Jokic jersey tonight just to finish things off.
Ooh, and then you could have the pits breathing too on
Right,
the set.
right.
Yeah.
We're gonna talk about Russell Wilson's MVP odds because
Why not?
I think he's got a good chance to win it.
To win it.
To win it. And so let's get to that in a second. But first, a shout out to msudenver.edu/online, where you can scope out all they have to offer, the best online education around. MSU Denver students work twice as many hours as students attending any other college institution. So check out MSU Denver. Get that education. Keep your full-time job. Do it all. It's great. msudenver.edu/online.
My boy Ryan's so pumped to be doing this show today. The vibes are just great this week. I love it. And speaking of good vibes, if you're tuning in with us live, we'd really appreciate it if you hit us with a thumbs up. If you subscribed, if you jump over to YouTube where the comment section pops, we really appreciate it.
Yeah, if you're not watching on YouTube, it's kind of like you're like outside of the bar looking through the windows.
Oh, yeah. A little creepy.
Right.
Yeah.
But we're like, oh, who's that? Then you jump into YouTube, like you're in the comment section, you're in the bar with the homies.
You're getting free beers when you're in the bar.
Right.
Yeah,
It's crazy. It's an insane party at YouTube.
Shout out YouTube.
Okay, so we know that we're getting a 2-time NBA MVP in Denver. The first ever 2-time winner while in Denver, if Nikola Jokic finishes the job. Odds took another shift last night. They've actually been shifting like every 6 to 8 hours in Jokic's favor for the last 48 hours.
Get in while the going's hot.
Yeah, exactly. So now it's all the way to -155 for Jokic.
Wow, that is insane for an MVP conversation.
When he was +160 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And obviously the straw poll comes out, then Embiid gets his shit rocked by Giannis, and then Jokic goes out there and nearly posts a 40-point triple-double the next night. Things are happening.
So you know what this tells me? The odds have shifted so much in the few days you've been wearing the Jokic shirts.
Ooh,
I don't think they can stop until he's officially crowned. So either you need to do laundry every 4 days, or you need to just keep buying more things. Or maybe people just send them to you.
I have a better idea. Eric has to keep making more shirts.
Yes, and man, get those turned out quick.
That dude, I mean, just so slow.
Are we thinking like just a straight up RK shirt? Like he just makes one RK Day 7, RK Day 8.
Well, it has to have Jokic on it.
Right. Maybe the back is RK and the front is Jokic.
Me and Brendan Vogt were talking about this last night, and I was saying it about a t-shirt. He said the statue. Either way, I like it. I want Jokic doing this when he's like upset and he just flips his hands out. I want that on a shirt.
Okay, or a statue.
And Vote was just saying build the statue of him doing that.
How about a statue where the hands are like automatic?
Oh,
you know?
like an animatronic.
Yes, exactly.
I love this.
And then it's also like, a funny prank because it's a statue, so no one thinks it's going to move, and then they get up close for a picture, and then the hands flip.
Then they freak out.
Yes.
I love that. Okay, so let's talk about Russell Wilson because I really
Another MVP.
I could talk about Nikola Jokic all day, but that's probably not why people are here.
Instead of talking about him, you'll just wear him.
Exactly. Russell Wilson MVP odds. He's first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh in the rankings.
Sixth.
Tied for sixth with Joey Burrow. Behind Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, boo, Aaron Rodgers, Tom Brady, and then tied with Joe Burrow.
Makes sense.
I think it's just about where he should be at this juncture. In front of Matthew Stafford, Dak Prescott, Kyler Murray, Deshaun Watson. This is basically just like a preseason NFL quarterback rankings.
It really is. And I would say Russell Wilson is... I'm surprised Matthew Stafford is down here just because I think he's going to get the Super Bowl boost. He's also a guy that's never received an NFL MVP award. People are watching him now. People are saying, wait. This guy, we're talking about him. I mean, other people are talking about him being a Hall of Famer now, and he only has one Pro Bowl. He only has an MVP. I think there's going to be more eyes on him. But still, if I was making this list, I'd put Russ ahead of him.
I would too. I would also put Russ ahead of Justin Herbert.
Gosh, no way. You would do that?
Yes, I would.
Wow.
Who is sitting at plus 1,000 in third place?
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys know this. He's never been to the playoffs.
He has never been to the playoffs. Oh, man. I hate doing this, but he's gonna come and he's gonna spank you this year, Ryan.
No, he's not.
Yeah, you have your back to him and he's just gonna come up.
Nope, he's going to have like a great start to the season. Then every player on the Chargers is gonna get injured, and he's gonna be left to like throw the ball to himself.
And he'll probably do that pretty well.
Nope. Anyways, so sitting there at seventh.
So you would have him. So he's tied 6. You would have him 5.
Russ? I would have him. I would just switch positions. I would move him into the plus 1,000 category and move Justin Herbert to the plus 1,200.
So you would have him tied for 3rd with Aaron Rodgers and Tom Brady.
Yep.
I mean, that's the place to be. The back-to-back MVP and Tom Brady, who's the GOAT.
It's kind of crazy that Aaron Rodgers still sits there behind 2.5 guys.
It really is, and I think a couple things come into that. Voter fatigue.
100%. He's not winning it for what it's worth.
No, he is not. That's bad money to put it on. No Devontae Adams, and no
MVS, who Chiefs fans think is the next coming of Jerry Rice.
Yeah, he's the GOAT as well, according to Chiefs fans. Aaron Rodgers is not winning this, but you have to put him in, so I guess that's why he's 3rd. I guess it kind of makes sense. Yeah. It is wild, though, on the surface.
I would not put money there if I were you guys. Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes. So
makes sense.
That's tier 1 in my opinion. Okay. If you look at these odds, and then tier 2 is that Herbert, Rodgers, Brady, Burrow, Wilson, and then tier 3 is everything below that. So you've got Russell Wilson in tier 2. Here's my case for why I think he's going to be right in this conversation. 1, you wrote an article, and you can touch on that a little bit more in a second, so I won't spoil anything, but I think the Broncos are going to utilize Russell Wilson maybe more than we've ever seen before from any offense he's been a part of. I'll let you dig in more on that. 2 is the national attention. Everyone loves these stories of players changing teams like at this stage of their career. He's at like the perfect stage of his career where it's like you could create the narrative that's like, oh, Russell Wilson could go win multiple Super Bowls in Denver. This isn't like a one-off end of the career last like Joe Montana in Kansas City type of thing.
Yep.
This is a new beginning, fresh start. National media loves Russell Wilson.
Yep. And I was going to just add that really quick. He's a Walter Payton Man of the Year guy.
Yeah, he's pretty much beloved by everyone except people who can't handle corny. I understand you people, but he's ours now, so we tolerate it.
And he's not Kirk Cousins corny.
No,
he's not Cousins corny.
He's above that, just a hair. But so everyone loves him. National media loves him. They want to talk about this story. He's going to have the max amount of primetime games.
Yep.
Everyone's going to see him. And he's going to take a team that has missed the playoffs 6 straight years to, at the very least, the playoffs. He could win the division.
Yep.
He could be the 1 seed.
Yep. And a lot of prime time.
And all of it is going to be right in the public eye. The AFC West is going to be completely zoned in on. There's going to be we talked about this before. There's going to be a segment on Good Morning Football every Monday. What's going on in the AFC West?
Yep.
And so this is it's all setting up for at least him to have the opportunity to capitalize on the attention and definitely get in the conversation.
Right, exactly. And he's been in the conversation, as you pointed out yesterday, especially, 2 years ago?
2020.
He was in the conversation the first half of the season, and everyone was saying, Russ is finally going to get an MVP vote. Finally. And then the Seahawks just said, They had tight sphincter syndrome.
TSS.
Yes, and they said, Russ, you're not going to do anything anymore. And then it completely dropped off. The Seahawks killed his ability to finally get an MVP vote. And then last year, he was hurt. The Seahawks weren't very good. He still put up incredible numbers, but that's what happened.
Okay, so in the comments, Higher Learning is saying national media loves Russell Wilson, but he still hasn't gotten any MVP votes ever. Am I wrong? Do they not love him?
No, you're exactly right. But also, you mentioned this yesterday. Seattle, the 12s, they're great, at least when they have Russell Wilson. We'll see how good of fans they actually are. People in Seattle love him.
They're going to have to start calling him the 10s because they're going to be thinning out.
It's very true, maybe even the 9s. But it's kind of on its own. It's kind of up there in the top of it's kind of like Buffalo. Buffalo is as high as they're ever going to be right now. When they don't have Josh Allen, when they're not balling, they're kind of forgotten about in the top right of the country. That's very much the case, even more so with Seattle. So, yeah, people love Russell Wilson, but you're not on the East Coast. You're not talking about the guys on Good Morning Football aren't talking about Russ and the Seahawks, especially if they're not lighting it up.
Right, exactly. And I think the main reason why he hasn't had an MVP vote is because he hasn't had that season. You know what I mean? The numbers that are being put up by quarterbacks in, for lack of a better term, like the Patrick Mahomes era, when everyone started looking around and was like, oh, if you have a great quarterback, just do that, and you can put up insane numbers. You know, it started with him, really maybe even Lamar Jackson too, but in a different way.
Yep.
Put the ball in their hands on every single play, as much as you possibly can. And so it was like, it started there. And then Josh Allen started doing it. Like the Buffalo Bills just don't even employ running backs anymore.
Yep.
Then
wild.
Like
There's
the
a good
Rams
one out there in Melvin.
Right. The Rams get Matthew Stafford. They're like, yeah, we're just chucking the rock around. Obviously, they did it a little bit less. They like to run the ball a little bit. Another good one. The Cowboys. We got Dak Prescott. We just throw the ball every time now.
We pay Zeke a ton of money. Who?
So all these quarterbacks are putting up 40 touchdowns. 40-some touchdowns, somewhere between 10 and 15 interceptions, and 4,500 plus, ish yards.
At least.
Yes. And it's just really hard when you're in a run-first offense to get MVP love. Now, run first relatively to the quarterback that you have.
Yes, exactly.
And so that's where I wanted you to kind of chime in on the piece you wrote, because it's actually pretty staggering how little the Seahawks used Russell Wilson, except for in desperate situations. So that's why we have this reputation of, oh my God, Russell Wilson always does these crazy things at the end of the game. It's because at the end of the game, when they're in trouble, that's when they finally take the reins off and say, all right, Russ, save us.
Yep, exactly. I'm just shaking my head thinking about what Seattle's done with him. It makes me sad. It makes me a little sick. I tear up a little bit thinking about just how Russ has been mistreated out there in Seattle, but he's been in the NFL for 10 years.
He's here in QB heaven now.
He really is. He should say that.
Yeah.
1 year, Ryan. 1 year, Russ has been in the top half of the league in passing attempts. He was 16th that year. Top half. Exactly. Top half once, and he was average. That's what the team was. And you know what he did that season? He led the league in passing touchdowns. So when given just a kind of a chance, he capitalized on it big time.
It's not crazy to think he's going to be top 10 this year, right?
Oh, absolutely. He should be top 10.
Yeah.
Absolutely top 10. 5 of those 10 seasons, last in the league in passing attempts. I mean, Pete Carroll is going to have the worst eye-opening ever this year.
32nd out of
32nd.
Or below 32nd?
Yep, 32nd.
32nd in the league in passing attempts.
Fewest.
Do you guys understand how wild that is?
It's insane.
Like, look, Pete Carroll is a good football coach. I have a lot of respect for him. He's done incredible things up there. But that is like incompetence.
It's 100% incompetence.
Taking the ball away from your best player every year.
Yep.
Save for maybe his first 2 seasons when he was
Right.
kind of learning the game, being a little bit more of a game manager, playing to that defense.
Yep.
Best player on your team, taking the ball out of his hands as much as you can.
Ridiculous until that fourth quarter, like you said, until it's absolute crunch time. And Ryan, this is why Russell Wilson has only thrown for a career high 4,219 yards. He's thrown for over 4,000 yards 4 times, all below 4,220. It's because he's just not getting the opportunities to do it. And I think that's the biggest reason why he's fallen short in terms of MVP voting is, I mean, guys are throwing for close to 5,000 yards every single season. If guys are at least throwing for 4,500 yards, Russ just simply can't do that when he can't throw for 300 yards on 10 passes.
Yep.
You know, you can't have a 100-yard pass every time. And so that's where he's really, I shouldn't say struggled, but been limited. So what happens if Russ gets top 10 passing attempts? Just the 10th most. And so what I did in this article, which I posted last week, which you can see on the DNVR.com, I took his average from the past 5 years. I didn't want to pick and choose the good numbers for Russ and make it seem like he's going to be really, really good or anything. I want to say, how good is he when he's given a chance?
And by the way, the last 5 years, I would say, is a perfect sample size. He's 33 years old right now, so that takes him back to when he's 28. That's it's the same guy, right?
Right.
Once you cross, I would say 27-ish in the NFL, you're that guy now.
Yep, exactly. You're that guy. So he would have thrown for 4th, and this is including what I didn't do. What were you going to say?
Just to clarify what you're saying here. You prorated his numbers, an average of the last 5 years, to what it would look like if he was top 10.
If he had the top 10 most passing yards. Just 10th.
Passing attempts.
Passing attempts, yes. Not any more than that. And I also didn't I included the 3 games he missed last year. So I didn't try to make up for those. So this is with him missing 3 games of the past 5 years. He would throw for 4,282 yards, so more than he has, 37 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, and 104 passer rating. So, and that's
10th.
That's 10th. So then I thought, okay, what if he's tied for first? And he gets those number of passing attempts, the most passing attempts in the NFL.
Who had the most last year?
I believe it was Stafford.
Oh, really?
I think so. I can check on that. Well, actually, I can check right now. The guy with the most passing attempts last year, was Tom Brady. Wow. 719 passing attempts.
Okay.
Absolute monster. No wonder he was able to put up such good numbers.
Yes.
So let's say Nathaniel Hackett says, we're going to do that. We're going to let you be our Tom Brady of this team, which makes a lot of sense because he's Russell frickin' Wilson. And what those numbers came out to be, Ryan, you had, if he got the most passing attempts, or tied for the most passing attempts, he would rack up 4,682. No, actually, I need to do this over a 17-game schedule. He would have racked up 4,975 passing yards, 44 touchdowns, less than 12 interceptions.
MVP
easy. And I should say, I did not prorate the last set of numbers I gave you, so add another game onto that for top 10. So he'd be 4,500 passing yards. He'd be about 40 touchdowns and probably 11 interceptions.
And what was the touchdown number on this last one tied for first?
It was 44 touchdowns.
Yeah. I mean, look, I don't want him
yards
to lead the league in passing attempts.
Okay.
I would definitely like to see him in the top 10. So what we're talking about there is around 4,500 yards, like I was just saying, around 40 touchdowns, and right around 10 interceptions.
Yep.
And if the Broncos, if that happens, the Broncos are going to be fighting for the AFC West.
100%.
And if they get it, I think those are MVP numbers.
That 100%. I think you're spot on. And I even think there's specific numbers that we can boil this down to. But first, when you're celebrating this MVP, you're going to want to check out our friends over at Lightshade Dispensary. And if you use the code DNVR, you'll get 25% off each and every purchase. And you can even get that discount on Wana, which is Wana Optical's fastest sleep 20 to 100 THC to CBD ratio. If you need to get some sleep, take Wana. It'll help with a consistent sleep, help you fall asleep, help you stay asleep. And whether you're a casual connoisseur or a casual consumer or a connoisseur, or if you need help saying those two things, you can get that all over at Lightshade Dispensary. And again, use that code DNVR whether you're online or in one of their 10 Denver metro area stores for 25% off.
Like, that's such a brain twist for you.
It is such a brain twist.
We should probably stop making you do it, but it's just fun.
And I challenge I could avoid it, but I challenge myself every day, and I fail.
There we go.
Yeah.
I like it. You know what helps me get to sleep?
Breck Bruce?
Couple drinks.
Yes.
Just a couple drinks down at the DNVR bar, watching the Nugs like I had last night.
Yeah.
Great night's sleep always follows.
Yeah, especially after a game like that.
Especially after
a night
37,
like that.
13, and 9
Yeah.
from the MVP. I did have triple double at plus 230.
Oh,
that one
no.
assist really hurt.
And you still slept.
I also said it was going to be I had an SGP of 30, 15, and 10, which he was really close to.
Man.
That was plus 1,000.
Wow.
So yeah. Oh well.
It's crazy that that's just like a casual bet that you can do. That's like, hey, you should probably hit this.
Right. Like
and then it gets really close.
You bet it, and then it's like right in there. And
Right.
You
Yeah.
had a chance
Yeah.
if like a couple shots dropped. And,
Yeah.
anyways, come on down to the DNVR bar. Hang out anytime. Avs Sharks tonight, 7 o'clock. Avs are rolling. Nathan McKinnon's just back. It's like hockey players do.
Wild.
Yeah. Someone was asking me before, it was Brennan, he was like, what happened here? Like, yesterday the concern level was high, today he's playing.
Yeah.
I was like, I assumed they just x-rayed it and it was
Yeah.
fine, and now it was high now it's high then, now it's low.
It's not broken. He's a hockey player. He's out
Playing.
there.
Yep. Exactly. So come down, hang out, have a Breck brew, have yourself a chicken sandwich, have yourself some nachos, bowl green chili.
Yeah.
A lot of people like the carnitas burrito, and then of course the dessert pretzels to top everything off.
We need to bring Breck Brew Fridays back. We had about a year or two ago, we had a lot of people tweeting at us on Fridays being like, whether they're at the bar, we need to get some of those. Some people with a Breck Brew at the bar on Friday, tweeting the Broncos account, tweeting us. But also, if you're not here, go to Breck Brew Locator on their website, and you'll be able to find anywhere to get a Breck beer. Once you get yourself some Breck beers, take a picture, tweet at us so we know how many people are enjoying a Breck Brew Friday.
I need to come up with my name for the summer. A couple of years ago, it was the Breck Boy Summer. What are we going with?
Yeah.
We're gonna come up with something new here.
Maybe Jokic themed, maybe Russ themed.
I think it's gonna be beer themed.
That makes sense. Wow.
But all sounds good. All sounds great.
And these MVP numbers sound good. And Ryan, I think you're pretty much spot on with what Russ needs to do. But I think what it boils down to
Oh, go ahead. I have one more thing that I want to add on.
Okay,
after you finish this.
And what I think it boils down to simply, he has a career high year across the board. He is the NFL's MVP. Really doesn't matter what else anyone does.
You think so? Mm-hmm. So we're knocking out Aaron Rodgers. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I shouldn't say that. That's stupid. It does matter, I guess, to an extent.
Tom Brady just usurped the head coach. He's now the head coach.
He is. He's everything.
So he is probably going to throw the ball a lot.
Yep.
I think internally he's thinking 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns.
He's thinking that, and then he's trying to go out on top in every way. He's trying to go out the MVP, stats, and Super Bowl.
Yep. Okay. There was a
that's a good
question in
point.
the comments that I really liked that we haven't talked about at all in this, which is, and I guess it's this can't be right.
Uh-oh.
Okay. There we go. They said what about rushing yards? And I think it's at least worth looking into, and I just brought this up here. Here's his career rushing yards numbers, and we'll take out last year because obviously it's the least amount of games he played. It's also the least amount of rushing yards he had. 513, 342, 376, 586, 259, 553, in his third year, 849 rushing yards.
That's insane.
539, 489. So he is going to have somewhere we can say between 4 and 550.
Which is insane.
Yeah.
Insane. In fact, in his career, he's averaged over a 17-game season, 505 yards per game.
Yep. And he always gets at least a couple rushing touchdowns every year.
He averages 2.
So
2.5.
let me just add that to the discussion.
Yep.
4,500 passing yards, 500 rushing yards. Now you can
5,000.
say 5,000 yards accounted for, 40 touchdowns, 3 more rushing touchdowns. Now you're talking about 43 touchdowns accounted for.
And this is also a guy who's averaging 5.5 yards per carry.
Right. You know he's going to have a quote-unquote MVP moment where, it's 3rd and 18. The Broncos are down 6. There's, 66 seconds left. He scrambles around. He dodges one. He dips under another. He runs to the sideline. He hucks it deep. Cortland Sutton brings it in on the 10-yard line. Then they go and scramble down there and get a touchdown to win. That's going to happen.
Yep.
So I guess my overarching thought here is Russell Wilson at plus 1,200 is really good odds.
I like that. I like that as well.
I think the chances of you ever getting a better number than that are bad, and the chances of that going down throughout the season is pretty high.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. And so his career high. Now I'm gonna bump this up to a 17-game schedule since he's never played in 17 games. Since the only season he missed games was last year, which was the first season with 17 games. His career highs in passing would be right around 4,500 yards. So he gets that. He tops that. So he has 4,500 passing yards, the 500 rushing yards. So boom, we're talking about a 5,000-yard quarterback right there. The most touchdowns he's ever had is 40. So then let's give him 2 or 3 more. So 43 in terms of the over a 17-game season with the 2 rushing. So we'll give him 45. He hits 46 total touchdowns as his career high. Boom. That's it for the MVP race. Interceptions, he's right around that 10 to 15 mark, just like you said. That's totally fine. Passer rating. Ryan, his best passer rating ever, 110.9. You know who had the best passer rating in the NFL last year? Don't think too hard about it. Just think of the MVP.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers. He had 111.9 passer rating. Yeah. So Russ would be right there as well. And that, in terms of QBR, his best QBR, 72.7. That would rank number 1 last year.
Yep.
So boom, he has a career year, and there he goes. And you're probably saying he's been in the NBA or the NFL 10 years. Is he really just is it crazy to just assume that he's gonna have a career best year? No,
I really don't think so.
I don't think it is, because he's going to be in an offense, like we talked about, that's going to let him actually do his thing. He's not going to be held back. He's going to be with the head coach that is going to allow him to do things, and he's going to have great weapons as well.
I still can't believe that in his 3rd year, he had 118 carries for 849 yards and 6 touchdowns.
When I think of Russell Wilson, I don't think of a running quarterback at all. In fact, I think that's something that we haven't talked about at all, is his rushing abilities.
How many quarterbacks have ever even rushed for 1,000 yards in a season?
Is it
It's
2?
like Lamar and Michael Vick.
Vick, yeah.
That's crazy that he was that close.
It is. It really is.
Maybe Tebow?
No.
Did he? He didn't?
No.
So... yeah, I guess he didn't have enough. He only started, 12 games that year?
Right,
So
exactly.
he probably could have had a chance.
Yeah.
That's wild to me. Absolutely wild. And who knows where Nathaniel Hackett stands on that. If I were to guess, I would say he probably wants to keep Russ behind the line of scrimmage.
Probably be very smart.
Yeah.
Yes.
But here's my biggest thing is I just know that Nathaniel Hackett, first of all, knows how to use an MVP quarterback. Mm-hmm. And he knows that Russell Wilson is an MVP caliber quarterback. And there's no way in hell that Nathaniel Hackett is going to look at what they did in Seattle and think, this is the correct way to use Russell Wilson. There's just no way.
Nope.
Because he's coming from an offense that produced back-to-back MVPs. Yeah. And I think they were the 1 seed this year?
Yes. Yes.
Were they the 1 seed last year?
Yes, because they hosted Tampa Bay in the championship.
So there you go. He knows that MVP quarterbacks produce number 1 seeds. And you let them throw the ball.
Yep, exactly. And on top of that, people may be saying, What about Javonte Williams? Well, you look at Green Bay, they have really good running backs as well, really talented. They're deep in that room, and you still just let Aaron Rodgers throw the ball. This is not a season to try to make Javonte Williams the MVP. If you're going to do that, you were going to do it last season. You know what? No running back outside of Derrick Henry is going to win the MVP. So Javonte Williams is still going to get work. Yeah, he probably can't even win it. Javonte Williams is going to get work, but this isn't about him anymore.
No, it's going to be the old pass to set up the run. And Russ has never even been in an offense like that.
And he's had not even good running backs.
No.
And they still wanted to do that. I mean
Marshawn
that's what
Lynch.
makes me sad. Okay, yes. I was thinking the past couple of years.
That's going back to his early days.
Right. And then it kind of makes sense for him to be more of a game manager. And even when he was a game manager, he was still great.
Right.
3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio, doing it when it matters the most. Yeah. Except for when you should run with Marshawn Lynch on the 1-yard line in the Super Bowl. But
when I was telling that scenario about how Russ was going to have his MVP moment, someone in the comments was like, in the stadium to be chanting MVP.
Yeah.
Does that happen in football?
It will.
Because I couldn't really afford to go to Peyton Manning games.
That's very true.
So was that happening? Obviously not when he's on the field.
Right.
Because he would have a conniption.
He'd have a Peyton Manning moment.
Yes, he would. But
you're right. When would it happen? Because at the free throw line, it makes a lot of sense.
Right.
That's when you
It actually doesn't make a lot of sense.
It doesn't, but I mean, that's when they do it.
I just think that once you're an MVP candidate, you get used to it, and now it's part of your rhythm, right?
Yeah.
As for football, I'm thinking during the extra point.
But then Brandon's going to be confused. He's going to be like, am I the MVP now?
He would think that.
He's going to be he's going to be putting up a lot of points too. Brandon will be because they're going to be scoring a lot.
Right. Most valuable points.
Yes.
That's what he's going to think they're changing. I think that's the time. Someone let me know. I've never been in a football stadium when that was being changed.
He's not on the field.
What about
make sense?
It's got to be a quick because there's too much noise that happens after a touchdown. You can't go right into it as he's jogging off the field.
Unless that's the song you want to bring in. That's the touchdown song that we've been looking for. Is just a nice MVP chant sung. Can we sing MVP? Do we do it opera style?
Do you know anyone with Broncos Vision or Broncos TV, whatever they call it, on that produces on the big screen? Right. What needs to happen is after a touchdown, between the extra point and the kick, they just close up on Russ on the thing, and then everyone starts chanting.
And then they have it on the board saying MVP.
Right.
Yep, that's
or
it.
just you just hear the
Yep, that would be it. I like it. There we go. We helped him out.
So I think our closest connection would be Alexis.
Yeah.
We'll talk to Alexis about this.
Yeah, we'll pull some strings.
All right.
And really quick, just a really interesting fact. So Russ ran for 800 and something yards once. And we said, who else has done this? Well, obviously, Lamar, Vic. We said Vic. Guess how many times? And how long was Michael Vick's career? It was 13 years. Guess how many times he ran for more than 850 yards that Russell Wilson has done?
Twice.
Bingo. He ran for 1,000 yards once. And then he also ran for 900 yards. So, I mean, that is just mind-blowing how dynamic Russ can be.
It's fair to say he's an elite running quarterback?
Yeah. Would you average 500 yards over 10 seasons? Yeah.
Yeah. How many times? I mean, that is crazy. So that could make a difference in this MVP thing. Is if the Broncos are willing to cut him loose a little bit. I wonder if we could go back on that 800-yard season and just see how many designed runs was that, or was that him getting out there and just taking out big chunks when teams are in man coverage?
Right. But still, it all counts the same. Wait, really quick, I gotta add this up. So in Michael Vick's career, he averaged 469 rushing yards per season. Now that's not averaged out. That's just with missing games, with what he did.
Some people still regard him as the best running quarterback ever over Lamar, which is wrong. But just in their head, it's kind of the further you get away from the legacy, the better it gets, right?
Yep, exactly. Now what'd I say? 469?
Yep.
You know what Russ is at?
What's he at?
468.9.
So Russell Wilson is Michael Vick.
Russell Wilson is Michael Vick, but a better passer.
Better passer. How crazy is that?
That is insane.
Obviously, Vick lost out on a big portion of his prime, so that could have changed. But that's crazy.
This is, Ryan, I think this is going to be our duty this year to prop up Russ as a rusher, and that's going to have to be part of his MVP conversation.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. Like, he's legitimately an elite running quarterback.
Yep.
And we do not think, at least until right now, I never thought of him that way. I thought of him as an incredible scrambler.
Right.
But not an elite runner of the football past the line of scrimmage.
Yep. Vic averaged 469.9. Russell Wilson averages 1 yard less per season on the ground than Michael Vick.
And if he gets 500 yards this year, then he'll pass Michael Vick.
Oh, my
In the
goodness.
last fully healthy season he got over 500 yards.
Yep, exactly. That's insane.
I really think we need like a film breakdown on this. I want to know where he's getting these rushing yards, because when I watch the highlights, I see a lot of times he drops back. He's like, "Oh, you guys are in man, thanks," and just runs.
Yep.
And he gets like 30, 40-yard chunks, not just like little like run 7 yards and slide.
Right, especially in this offense when it's going to be focused on throwing the ball deep, and you have 4 guys just throwing deep or running straight, and then the offensive line holds up a little bit, and the offensive line really opens, and then Russ just takes off.
Okay, wait. This is the last thing I need to know on this, and this is maybe going to require a little bit of research.
Okay.
Does that put him second all time in average rushing yards per season, or third all time in average rushing yards per season by a quarterback?
It's a good question. I'll look that up.
Because Lamar's going to be number 1.
Right.
We assume Michael Vick is number 2, and there's no way there's someone between Vick and Russell Wilson.
Right. No, you're exactly right. That's insane.
That is really, really insane. I'm glad we just randomly uncovered this today.
We really did. We really did. Wow.
Oh God, I cannot wait. I don't know if I've ever been this excited for a Broncos season.
Oh.
Like, even the year they got Peyton, I was still like young and naive enough to just believe like, well, it'll just be like this for the rest of ever.
Right.
You know, like
right.
Broncos, they have a Hall of Famer and then it goes away for a little bit and then they get another Hall of Famer. And like,
right.
And like then over the last 6 years, I was like, oh my God, what if we're stuck here forever?
Right.
And now we're out.
We're out.
And I think this is single most excited I've ever been.
I think so.
And we just found out the Broncos have the 3rd best rushing quarterback of all time.
Yep, it's wild. Absolutely wild.
Oh my gosh. All right. Anything else we need to touch on this MVP conversation other than probably get a bet in today?
Yeah, absolutely get a bet in today. And I mean, we've just been smiling a lot. And our smiles look even better after visiting our friends over at Green Mountain Dental. And you're going to be smiling a lot this football season, something that you may not be used to. So you want to make sure those pearly whites are looking good. Check out our friends over at Green Mountain Dental, where they're the best damn family-owned dentists in the metro area. Not only that, they're part of our family here at DNVR.
Amen.
They're here, we're over there, and they will treat you like family. And also, they will give you a free Sonicare toothbrush. They'll give you a gift. That's right. Just like a good family member, they will give you a free Sonicare toothbrush if you schedule a cleaning, x-ray, and exam with them over at Green Mountain Dental. They're only a 15-minute drive from downtown Denver, so make sure to switch to them and try them out.
Someone in the comments just had a really good one, especially as it goes for average.
Okay.
Kyler Murray. He's
Oh,
probably
yep,
going to be
yep,
higher
yep,
than
yep.
that as average, just because he only has 3 seasons under his belt.
That's a good point.
Let me just look at this right now. Yep, he's going to average more because he had 544 in his first season, 819 in his second season, and 423 in his third season. So
Yep.
probably right around 600 something.
Right.
Okay, so he's got him.
Mm-hmm. Anyone else?
Randall Cunningham is the one the comments are bringing.
I'll look that up.
Randall Cunningham.
I don't think so, but
And how many seasons would he have done that for?
I don't know. Randall Cunningham stats.
Yep.
You
What are
might
you
be-
finding?
Let's go Football Reference.
Yep, I'm right
Scroll
there
down
with
to
you.
rushing and receiving rush yards. No way.
Lot of seasons where he didn't run much.
Yep. He played a lot of seasons. I'm not going to count them all. Oh, it says right down there. 11 seasons. 3 seasons over Russell Wilson's average.
Yep, he has.
More than that, actually.
He averages 308 rushing yards per season.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
Yep.
So we're at 4th right now.
Yep.
In our very unscientific research on this. If Mace was here, he would already have the stat, but he's not.
4th all time.
In our eyes.
And no, we're just going all time. Yeah. And Kyler Murray only 3 years.
Someone in the comments. Very declarative. I don't know
Yes.
if they looked it up, but I'm gonna go with it.
And he's also bringing up Cam Newton.
Oh.
I think what would hurt Cam is the number of years he's been doing it. I think if you were like to just take his dominant
Top
years,
years.
probably.
Yeah.
But overall, no. Because last year, there's just no way.
All right, I'm gonna keep doing this. This is not good, but I'm so fascinated by
Are
this
you
thing.
looking up Cam?
I'm looking up Cam as we speak.
I've got Cam right here, and I think, oh, wow. 1 year he had -2 yards, so that's really going to hurt him.
What are they doing?
I think that was the year he got hurt the very first game or something like
yes.
that.
He only had 2 carries that year.
Oh, Cam beats him.
All right, we're down to 5th.
511.6.
Damn, that's
Even with that
impressive.
-2 yard season. So
He had a really consistent stretch in there
He
for
did.
his first 7 seasons in the league, every
Yep.
year except for one over 500 and something.
what's kind of crazy, last year he only started 5 games and he still had 230 rushing yards as like an old guy, you know?
And they kind of brought him in just to do that.
That's true. That's a good point. With
They-
New England, I'm surprised he had 600 rushing yards.
Well, remember he kind of had that like early MVP
He did.
burst?
He did. Yep.
Because they were like, you're our goal line back and our short yardage back.
Yep. He actually had the second most rushing touchdowns of his career that year, too.
All right, we're down to 5th. Maybe he was talking about 4th all time in total rushing yards for Russ.
Oh, potentially. Yeah.
That's what he said.
Okay.
And look at that. John Elway, according to Jose, is 10th.
John.
My guess is Peyton's probably pretty far down that list.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Had a couple in his first few seasons.
A couple runs.
couple
like a couple
yards.
positive. Yeah, a couple yards. Exactly.
All right, we got a super chat here from the Blind Swordsman. Says Herbert hasn't done jack. Why do people love him? Your guess is as good as mine.
You know, I hate standing up for him because I don't want to. I just don't want us to be sleeping on him
no
when
one
he
is
does
sleeping
have
on him.
a good
We're the
season.
opposite of sleeping on him.
Everyone in Denver is sleeping on him.
No.
Maybe just my co-host is sleeping on him, and it makes me scared.
I'm fast asleep.
It makes me, you're fast asleep, and I don't want that angry bear just waking you up and eating you while you're asleep, Ryan. I want you to, just be aware what he's going to do, but the good thing is I can say it and be happy about it because I think Russ is going to be able to keep up with him. And he hasn't done anything. Whoa.
He hasn't done anything.
Okay, in terms of wins, he hasn't done a ton.
So he's Matthew Stafford?
Well, he's a lot better than Matthew Stafford in terms of
in terms of what?
In terms of wins, he's better than Matthew Stafford.
Maybe.
The first year he set the records for passing yards as a rookie, or for passing, statistics as a rookie. Last year he set the passing records for the Los Angeles Chargers organization, and they've had some pretty good passers.
Yeah, good for them.
Yeah, good for them.
He's Matthew Stafford.
Okay, Matthew Stafford just won a Super Bowl.
Yes. When he finally leaves Los Angeles,
Comes to the Broncos?
and leaves the Chargers at the end of his career, he'll get one.
Could Justin Herbert be the next Peyton Manning, the next Russell Wilson in terms of leaving his team with 5 to 10 years left and coming to the Broncos?
He could.
Because we've talked about those guys before, and you got to think of really young guys because Russ is going to be playing
That
for 10
play
years.
in garbage organizations.
Right? Exactly. I mean, fits.
Yeah, it does fit.
Yeah.
It does fit.
Yeah, that one has some juice to it too.
That would be a fun one. As I said, the day after we got Russ, I was like, oh, this sucks for everyone who has a quarterback, because if the Broncos ever don't have one, we'll just be like, oh, we're getting your guy eventually.
Yep. And now that is stamped into the legacy.
Yes, QB country.
Yep, QB country. I
Yep.
like it. Man,
where-
that really fits with the people that think we have Midwest vibes. I feel like QB country.
You're in QB country
Yeah.
now, boy.
Exactly, with some straw.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, every day I wake up in QB country. It's amazing.
Man, and then you're the QB too.
Of this show, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes. All right, let's get into the comments from the listeners. Zach, who's leading us off?
The first one coming in. Well, really quick. We all done with super chats, Kale?
Yep.
All right, stalling right here as I pull them up, Ryan. And the first one coming in from Melbourne Broncos says, okay, I'll try this again. You guys were a little distracted by a London trip, which hopefully we're very distracted by a London trip for many months.
I'm distracted by a London trip every day of my life.
And look, he shouldn't have brought that up right now because it just got us
I'm
distracted.
re-distracted.
Maybe we won't even get to your question, but no, I'll make sure we do. He says, so with Deontay Spencer no longer around, what are the chances KJ Hamler gets the job returning kicks? Also, I have no fear that Randy Gregory will be ready to go week 1. Have some faith. Cheers, and let's ride.
I'm gonna skip over the second part. Deontay Spencer,
Gone.
gone. KJ
Godspeed to
Hamler. I guess you could make the case that he's no longer expected to be an integral part of the offense, and with that in mind, you put him back there. But the opposite case, which I feel like will be the real case, is he's already injury prone. Why would you subject him to more and more violent hits?
Yeah, that's certainly how I feel about it too. You even if he's your fourth receiver, you still want to be a weapon on this team, and if he stays healthy, don't put him in that position personally. And I remember last year, last 2 years, Tom McMahon really challenged KJ and said what he's missing is catching the ball part. Now
tough.
that doesn't change it's not like Tom McMahon was the one that was responsible for him not catching the ball. So that won't change. So he has to prove that first to whoever the coordinator is.
And to me, it's like you almost can't even do that. Once you've shown me in practice that you drop punts, you're out forever.
Yep. Especially when you have Russ, because the worst thing to do is make a silly mistake to take the ball out of Russ's hands. Just start on the 20, start on the 25.
People won't like this. I've seen a lot of returner talk in Broncos country lately, and so I don't know where this is coming from. I am 100% of the idea that the Broncos do not need a returner. They need a catcher.
Yes, I'm right there with you.
Just put back whoever you trust most to catch the ball and say fair catch it every time.
River Vapecraft.
Yes. And I'm not even exaggerating a little bit. I do not care if the Broncos have 0 punt return yards next year.
Yep, I couldn't agree more. And just let kickoffs go through the end zone every time.
Yes.
Yep.
It does not. It does, like, the risks far outweigh the rewards in me.
Yes.
In my eyes. When's the last time the Broncos had a kick or punt return touchdown?
I have no idea.
When's the last time they muffed a punt? Probably at some point last year.
Probably a couple times. Yeah. Absolutely. And also, you don't have to have the big play now with Russell Wilson because he will get you the big play.
If you were to guess who on the team has the best punt return hands, who would you guess?
Ooh, Kendall Hinton.
Yes, sign me up. 100% sign me up. And I have a ton of trust in Kendall Hinton. I don't even know why. I actually would allow him to make the judgment call of if it's worth returning once in a while.
Wow, you just went from never return to I have so much trust in Kendall Hinton.
Like, I'm just saying,
if
it's a line drive, like, I trust him to be like, oh, this is a line drive. Let me catch this and run 10 yards.
Yep. And I really trust him to not fumble.
I really do too.
So there you go. We didn't overlook the question.
Kendall
Melvin.
Hinton, congratulations on the return job. We just gave it to you.
Yep, fifth receiver and the starting returner. I love it. Dan Burke says, hey guys, so Zach and RK have been teasing about a player trade or two. I'm intrigued because I have some theories, so I want to see if they match with what y'all are talking about.
To clarify, we are not hinting at a player trade. We don't think that a player trade is happening.
Right.
We think that if a player trade were to happen, we have a general idea of what valuable player on the Broncos it would be. And I think we can just say it.
Yep.
It would be Jerry Jeudy. In my eyes, in our eyes, if the Broncos got desperate to, move up into the first round or for whatever reason, and they thought that they could use a player to get that, pick or whatever, I think it would be Jerry Jeudy. It's not saying like the Broncos are done with Jerry Jeudy or they're out on Jerry Jeudy. It's just he's kind of a luxury piece for them right now because they have Tim and Cortland signed up long term. Obviously, you're going to use 3 wide receiver sets with Russell Wilson, but they also want to use Alberto a bunch. If KJ Hamler's healthy, then he's going to be involved. So it's the one player that I think has a lot of value and isn't a need player for the Broncos.
Yeah, maybe more value for a team that's desperate for a wide receiver than the Broncos have. And if they're desperate, that's when you get a better return.
And there's no reason to beat around the bush of he's caused a little drama.
Yep, exactly. And I do like what I saw this week earlier in the week with Russ and him working out. That certainly helps alleviate some of that. But you're not going to go out and trade Cortland. You're not going to go out and trade Tim. So he's the guy that would make the most sense because I think he could also bring in the most value.
Yeah. So again, we don't think he's being traded. We're not hinting at a trade. It's just we a few times we've been like, what would the Broncos do if they really wanted to get up into the first round? I guess it would be try to package some sort of pick with Jeudy to get up there. Who knows if that's you almost never see that even happen. A player traded on draft day to move up.
Right. Yeah, no, you really don't. And a lot of people in the comment section are throwing out Bradley Chubb. He doesn't have value.
Doesn't have value.
Yeah, Jerry Jeudy has value, and that's a credit to Jerry Jeudy.
Yes. The most value Bradley has to any team in the NFL is to the Broncos.
Yeah, exactly. And that doesn't make sense to just get rid of him. We have a super chat coming in from Taylor. Says, Justin Herbert's a more dynamic Phillip Rivers. Beware of Herbert with the laughing, crying face. So I don't know if he's on my side. He's trolling you. He's trolling me.
$20 to say beware of Herbert. It's got to be a Chargers fan.
With a laughing, crying face.
Like, he's laughing, crying at me for just thinking that Herbert is super overrated.
Or is he laughing, crying at me because saying he's more dynamic than Rivers? And we all know Phillip Rivers is not dynamic.
He's definitely
you know?
more dynamic than Rivers.
Well, we really appreciate you tuning in, Taylor.
Yeah, and for a fat super chat.
Yes, exactly. And if you're a Chargers fan, thanks. Good. The only Chargers fan tuning in today. Love it.
We love to see that. From Virginia Beach Broncos. Even 24 hours later, I'm still laughing at the following exchange around 27:05. RK, do you know what a DJ does? Zach cuts your hair. Ryan makes people stops in the middle of the sentence process when Zach just says best podcast in existence.
I'm so happy you clipped that.
Oh, that was like the first thing I did. I was like, I can't wait to clip this.
Because I was obviously in my own world, so I didn't get to see your reaction live. And then going back, I love how you had so much trust in me that I was going to give you the right answer. So you just went on and you did say a couple of words, and then you're like, wait.
Yeah, exactly. It took me a second to process what you had just said. That one's gonna be around forever. I want to make my reaction into a GIF that takes out the context, no sound.
Right.
So you just see me going.
Right.
Because I could use that a lot on
now,
takes like Justin Herbert's gonna win MVP.
Oh. Hey, I never said that.
He's a Broncos fan.
Lifelong Broncos fan, paid $20 to tell me about how good Justin Herbert is.
Or he said just trolling. I feel like he's trolling me.
Oh, I like that.
Taylor, we
money
need
well spent.
We need another clarification here.
Double down. Appreciate you riding with us either way, Taylor.
And speaking of great people riding with us, Tommy Bronco comes in with his story of where he was when Russell was traded. He says, my boys, so after I found out Aaron Rodgers was going back to the Packers, I went into work sad and just accepting that we'd be another middling quarterback, then just went about my day. Keep in mind, I'm on the Hawaii time zone. Also, in my job, we cannot have our phones, so no way of getting news. Where does he work? We talking to like a secret agent here?
Maybe.
He goes on and says, so I did my normal day of work, and I go to check my phone. Not great
service.
service.
He works at Area 51.
In Hawaii?
No, that's in Nevada.
But he says he works in Hawaii.
Oh.
He's on Hawaii time zone.
Oh, well, maybe Area 51 is on Hawaii's time zone. It's its own world.
We're on to something here. He says, not great. That would actually make sense with no service. You can't use your phone.
Right.
Yeah, I could see this. Not great service, but I see a text from my friend who is a Washington Commanders fan that only says, I'm super happy for you. Wish it would have been us.
Oh, my God. This is so good.
He says, so I scrambled to Twitter. Nothing loading. Scrambled at ESPN. Nothing. So I go back to our old technology and call my best friend asking what Broncos news is happening because surely he would pick up, right? Nope. No answer. At this point, I'm in a tizzy. And I remember, oh, yeah, you have a wife who is a Broncos fan.
Hopefully she doesn't hear this.
Seriously, don't ask why I didn't think to call her first. Really hope she isn't hearing this. So I call her, and the first thing I ask is, babe, do we trade for someone? I need to know. In the most calm voice, she says, oh, yeah. We got Russ. I
picture it more like, oh, yeah, we got Russ.
Yeah, right, very casual. I continue by saying, no effing way, but yes effing way. Needless to say, it was the most roller coaster day for me, but I will always remember where I was. And he says, if you have time for this question, well, really quick, let's react to that. That is incredible. I couldn't imagine getting text saying, I'm super happy for you. Wish it would have been us. Knowing it's coming from like a football fan.
Mm-hmm.
Where would your mind go, especially after knowing it's not Aaron Rodgers?
I still probably would have gone to Aaron Rodgers.
There was some mix-up.
Right, exactly. Like Adam Schefter recanted the report and was
especially
like,
just 2 hours later.
a twist.
Yeah.
Instead of signing with them, he's being traded to the Denver Broncos where he will sign that contract.
Especially knowing what happened 10 days later with Devontae Adams traded. Like, if you were to know that too, you'd been like, oh, it's for sure.
Right.
Everything blew up.
Or, you know what I would have thought is that, like, my friend got a wrong report about the Rodgers thing.
Oh,
people get the worst sports news.
Yeah.
I don't understand where people are reading this shit,
Yep.
but like once in a while, I'll just like someone sends me an Instagram post
Right.
from like the most
Yep.
obscure account with 17 followers. It's like, did you see this? Like Patrick Mahomes is retiring,
Yep.
and I'm like,
NFL rumor
Yeah, I'm
across
like, come
it.
on, man.
Yeah.
How?
Instagram is not where to get your
yeah,
news.
yeah. So that's what I would have thought. Is
Yeah.
like he saw on some stupid Instagram account that Aaron Rodgers was going to the Broncos.
So is that what you're thinking when you read that? Or are you, and you're thinking, I don't need to do more research? Or are you
No.
thinking, let me still make a call?
I'm definitely worried. Not
Yeah.
like in a bad. I'm just like, I think he probably messed this up, but I got to know what's happening.
And obviously, he didn't want to text his friend back and ask what he was
I don't
talking
think
about.
he could get text to go. Well,
but
I
he
guess
made a
could.
call. He just couldn't get internet, so he didn't want this friend to see that he didn't know first. Yeah. Understandable.
Been
Yep,
there,
yeah,
yeah.
of course. He goes on he has a question. He says, with Russ as the quarterback, how many Broncos are Pro Bowlers following the 0 Pro Bowler year? As always, cheers, Tommy Bronco.
I think we did this the
Yep.
other day. I said Russ, 2 wide receivers,
Yep.
Justin Simmons, Pat Surtain. 5 Broncos are going to be Pro Bowlers next year.
And I took the under, and I don't love taking the under though.
You said just Russ, 1 wide receiver, Justin Simmons, Pat Surtain.
Yeah. Okay, I guess I'm okay with that.
Randy Gregory, Bradley Chubb. Would you like to enter the chat? Javonte Williams.
Yeah, those are the next guys.
Yep.
My only concern is Justin Simmons not making it, being overshadowed by Pat Surtain, being overshadowed by these other guys. But then also I think about it, and Justin could easily have a career year because the offense is going to score. So you hope that there's pressure on the opposing quarterbacks and they have to throw the ball. And Justin can have a few fourth quarter picks that he really hasn't. He's had to earn all of those instead of being given those in the past.
100%. Yeah, he's going to be able to sit pass a little bit more.
Yeah.
I think you'll see more from Pat Surtain. He's such a heady player that like I think having the other teams telegraph what they do a little more is going to allow him to be like, oh, I know what's coming here.
I think we're going to see a lot of Pat Surtain's first interception in the NFL in the preseason when he
jumped it.
just baited the Vikings to throw that. And teams are going to have to throw, and they're going to have to look Pat's way occasionally.
Yep. And I think as a defense, you can take more risks.
Yeah.
We know Evero is going to blitz.
Yes.
So that's going to either cause sacks, fumbles, or rushed throws. Now, obviously, sometimes you get burned on blitzes. It happens. But additionally, just as players, when you're that Broncos defense, really the last 6 years, you're thinking, we have to keep this team in the game. And so the bend, don't break thing actually kind of makes sense because it's like, we got to keep everything in front of us. One deep touchdown, it's going to take our team 2 quarters to make up those points.
Right.
So now you can kind of say, if you're Pat Surtain, you can be like, I can guess on this. Like, I know this formation. I know they love to run slant here on 2nd and 7. I'm going to sit on it.
So are we calling it a boomer break defense kind of? Because that's, with the blitzes, you're going to get there. It's going to turn into big plays. Sometimes you're probably going to leave a leaking tight end exposed or something.
Yep.
And I'm okay with a boomer break, 100%.
Don't get exposed when you're leaking.
Oh, yeah, that especially like near in elementary school from what I've seen on movies and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like that's always the sex offender case that someone has against them is, I peed in an elementary school.
I know a couple friends because there's an elementary school right there on the hill
It's
that
dangerous.
got a public whatever.
Yep.
Yep. Tough scene. I don't know how you took that so far down that road. But I think it will be boomer break. And some people are going to hate that. Some people are going to love it. You're going to get more turnovers. And the defense is going to put you in some really good positions. The defense is going to put you in some bad positions some games.
Give it to me, though. I'm all about that.
Just don't blitz Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, probably not. No. That's Randy Gregory and Bradley Chubb. Earn your money those games.
Absolutely. And if there's one place that the Broncos have done a pretty good job, it's against Patrick Mahomes.
It really
At
is.
least of just getting him out of the pocket or pushing him backwards. That's the best thing. Can you get him to go backwards, not out?
Maybe that's the game when you say, we will not do boomer break, we'll do bend, don't break. Especially with how close have the Broncos been in those games with Mahomes. Of course, they've gotten blown out a couple of times, but their defense has kept them in it so much they just haven't had the offense to keep up with it. Now they're going to have that offense.
Yep, they are. It's gonna be a great time.
This has been a great time.
It has, and Broncos games just in general are gonna be so much more electric next year.
Everything about it.
The buzz around the team, the
Yep.
buzz around QB country.
Yep. And we were talking about it. We had our meeting this morning. We were talking about Broncos don't have a first-round pick, and you know how many people care about that, Ryan? Zero.
No one.
Zero.
As George Payton said, Russ was our first-round pick.
Yep, and he's a first-round pick next year, and we're going to love it.
We'll like that
Yep.
again, too.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's going to wrap it up for us today on the DNVR Broncos podcast. It's been awesome. Zach is out tomorrow. Henry's filling in tomorrow, and I'm excited for that because he's going to give us a little bit of like a reconfigured draft preview.
I love it.
We have to take
I
a
love
totally
it.
different look at the draft now, so he's going to come in with some of the prospects that might be of interest to the Broncos and might actually be available
Yep.
when the Broncos pick. So hang with us then.
And really quick, don't leave now because we just had a super chat that came in.
Buzzer beater.
Buzzer beater from Nicholas says, I'm from North Carolina but was in Denver. Went to the DNVR bar for lunch but was closed, so went to which. Then we got Russ. I was technically the only one at the bar. That is awesome.
That's hilarious. A lot of options around here. You went which?
Wow, he's very openly questioning your decision making.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Which going on at the office.
Yeah.
Wow. I
not
hope you
saying-
enjoyed it more than the rest of these people.
Also, which buy sponsorship. No, I'm just kidding.
No, right.
All right, that is officially going to wrap it up for us here. Thanks to everyone who tuned in. I'll be back with you tomorrow. We're going to wish Zach a great weekend.
Well, thank you.
And we'll see you on the other side. As for you guys, we'll talk to you tomorrow in QB Country.